Hey, what's up guys, this is Rhinosaur2264, and as you can see by the numerous amount of tools, I have taken apart my Nintendo Switch, which I'll show pictures of it. It works. There were very little road stops, and road kind of things. I plugged the SD card back in, and everything's back. That's awesome. My battery is really low. That's one thing I'll make sure I keep in mind. It is now at 15% after removing the battery. Basically just taking it apart and then putting it back together. The one thing that did happen that is really concerning, I'll talk about it in a minute, but let me actually just put this back together all the way. These are some of this. Hang on. Okay. Let's see if I can focus on. Those are some of the screws I used. Look how small they are. And if you don't believe me that they are really small, that's a Pro controller. That's a screw. Look how big that thing is. I'm like, that's how small it is. Look how small that is. Anyways, Switch works. All is good. I'll turn this off. I'm gonna go put all the screws back in, and I'll talk about my experience. All right. So initially, before I did any of this, I bought I bought some screwdrivers for my GameCube to take it apart, and I got these two and this little red one right here, and so I was able to take apart the my GameCube and clean that up, and I was able to take apart my N64 and clean that up. Awesome. And I had this tri-wing. Can't really. Oh, there you go. I guess. Yeah, let's see if I can get a really good look at. You're not kidding. Hang on. Alright, yeah, use the light. Here we go. I don't know how well you can tell. You can use the light. Hang on. I know it's really bad, but that's the best way I can show that it's a tri-wing. Anyways, so I attempted to take apart my Switch with this screwdriver, but I threaded one of the screws, and if you don't know what threaded means, it basically, so threading basically means, all of that, where the plus symbol would be just kind of cut in, so it looked like the inside of an ice cream cone, and that's basically what threading is. It's basically so you can't unscrew it anymore. Oh, that's going to be uber tiny. Yeah, so I don't know if you can tell, but that's basically gone. Everything in there is basically cut out. So yeah, lost a screw. I have 3 good ones though, so I'll put those back in my Switch. So all should be good with that. So yes, you want to make sure you buy the right tools. Alright, so basically what you're going to want to do is, so what you're going to want to do is take your time, number one, make sure you have the right tool. What I needed is actually a tri-bit that was a lot smaller. And if we're comparing sizes, yeah, you're going to want the smaller one, because it can really get in there, and this one's perfect. I found it on Amazon. Just type in Nintendo Switch screwdriver, or Nintendo Switch tri-wing, and you can find it. My mom hooked me up and got this really nice Nintendo tri-wing screwdriver kit user, and it came with this little manual, and it came with the orange ones right there, the red, and the orange ones over here, and yeah, and it came with these green things, which are really cool. They're like brick separators, and then it came with these two little things, some picks to get some gunk out and clean up sides of it, which are really cool. Use that more often. And it came with a brush to knock out all the dust. So yeah, make sure you have the right tools, and yeah, you'll be. Well, there we go. Now that looks better. So all of that, and that, and the other green one, wherever it went, they're all on the set. It was awesome. This screwdriver right here was like $5, so I don't know what amount I paid for the other thing, but yeah. So the only other big thing big problem I ran into was I see that little white thing right here. Do you know what that is? Do you? Actually, if my phone can focus, come on, what's up, phone? Come on, focus. Focus. That's not focusing. Now it just looks like a piranha plant. So basically, this little thing, now that you can actually see it, is a connector for a wire to a battery. Guess what that is? So basically, my little white connector thingy broke off when I was attempting to take out the battery. Yeah, that broke. I was using expletives and other words that I will not repeat here because young viewers might actually watch my content. And it basically shattered, and and then I had all the wires sticking out. I was just losing it. But then I realized, after I took this little white thing off, then I realized all was good and I only had the wires left. So all I had to do was actually plug each of the little individual cords back in, and all is good. The battery is back intact. The switch works. I'm super happy. I did a great job. And one thing I will say is you really gotta believe in yourself. You really do, because I was starting to doubt myself after the battery thing, and I was starting to lose it. But I needed to calm down because I knew I could do it. You gotta have faith in yourself with things. And you know what? I cooled down for a little minute. I put on some chill Splatoon music. And then what I did, I finished what my friend wanted me to do. I put it back together. I put those little wires individually back in, and my Switch works. And I feel great about it. I feel confident about it. I can do it again. Let's do this. This is Ryan SR2264 signing out, my amigos. Be very cautious. Slow and steady wins the race. Never give up, never surrender, only sometimes retreat. Hey, what's up guys? So, I took apart this Joy-Con and I put a new joystick in it. And, yeah, it was it wasn't super hard. Basically, you just unscrew these 4 screws, open it up, and then you have to move some ribbon cables, and you have to unscrew a couple other things. But then you just add the new, that's the old joystick. So what you have to do is you have to unscrew 2 screws, and you have to undo a ribbon cable, which is a little spooky at first, but you're good. And after that, you just put it back together, and you're all good. For me personally, it was quite easy to do. I had no problem with it. It was simple. My only complaint is I had to somebody working on this Joy-Con obviously wasn't prepared for this, but he was using these screws, screwdrivers, which are very similar to my screwdrivers and my little set. That's the little bag I keep other tools in. That's where I keep my tools. I haven't lost any this person's tools. This is their Joy-Con. I'm keeping this as a little souvenir. If they don't mind, I don't think they will. It's broken, what are they going to do with it? So, basically, put it back together, all is good. So what they did is, they threaded it with these screws, or screwdrivers, which is actually kind of easy to do. Luckily, I was able to unscrew them with this really nice blue screwdriver. That's the name of it. There we go. Yeah, not perfect. Man, come on, Ryan. Come on. There we go. That's what it is. I just typed in Nintendo Switch screwdriver on Amazon, and yeah, that was easy. So now I will be doing the calibration. I know you guys can easily see that. So I will move to the TV screen. So there we go. Awesome. It works perfectly fine. There you go, Miss Rommel. I fixed your Joy-Con. Awesome. So I have, and I also tore apart her other Joy-Con. It was a red one, like mine. That one was red. And yeah. So my good friend Uriel, I can take apart yours. I'm going to need a new stick though, because I don't think you want the old one, the old broken one. So yeah. Overall, it was a simple repair. I have now taken apart basically an entire Switch, including controllers. So I am self-proclaimed master of taking apart Nintendo Switches. And still working on a 25.5 Minds fan. He, I think, ordered a new one. Eventually, maybe he hasn't. No. We'll put a different fan in because the one he got was malfunctional. There, defective. So this is RSRT264. Sign out, my amigos. This is a simple repair.
So, I'm trying to recalibrate this joystick, and as we can see, hasn't moved, and it's like that. So, it's not even on the target. I don't even. Oh, there we go. I don't even know what the hell is going on. Like, what the heck? That is the weirdest I've ever seen it. So, what I'm gonna do is I'll actually take it apart and I'm gonna clean it, and hopefully that will do something. You got jacked up Joy-Cons, man, I swear.